Hi, my name is Elijah.
And my name is Dwayne.
Welcome to Power Your Story,
a podcast produced by high school students in Chicago with the support of After School Matters and the creative Impostor Studios.
Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Power Your Story podcast. My name is Brian. Today we are talking about the Karenmageddon. By this point, you know what a Karen is. A Karen is an insult to describe someone who thinks that they can get whatever they want in their own way. The majority of Karens nowadays are white people, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Joining me for this roundtable are Jaylin, Leonardo, Miko, Elijah, and Elvis. Hey, Jaylin, what should we talk about first?
The first thing we're going to talk about is Karen videos or stories online that we've read or heard about.
There is a Reddit subreddit dedicated to talking about Karens called r/entitled parent. As full of stories. There's currently 1.9 million members, and it is incredibly just so funny reading some of these stories that people post on the subreddit. There's some about people's own entitled parents, and there's other people who will post about stories with entitled parents who are not their parents, but that they encountered at a park, in a store, in a movie theater, or even an entitled parent that is in their family, but not their parent. For example, this story from /just another baby talking about their entitled mother who keeps hugging them even when they've told her that they are uncomfortable with this kind of physical touch. And the thing about entitled parents is that they will oftentimes push your boundaries and get upset with you for enforcing said boundaries. So that's exactly what's happening in this story.
Okay, to me, the whole experience is because I've seen a lot of Karen stories and Karen videos all over TikTok, and people will share their experiences. And honestly, at this point, it has really become a Karenmageddon because there's just so many out there, and we need to overcome this thing because it's just a lot. It's becoming a lot, and there's a lot of women and men out there that are being very disrespectful and causing a lot of disrespect online because of a situation like that.
I have a story started in a store when a Karen tell a couple they were trying to buy, and Karen told the cashier don't wear the ready purchase the item and tell them go back to the country, and we kept arguing and walked up to her and she slapped her in the face. That's the only story I know about Karen.
That's wow. I'm wow. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is our personal experience. I do know that Elijah has a story of a personal experience with a Karen.
Horrible people, I tell you. So basically, theaters got done watching Thor: Love and Thunder. I was walking out to basically waiting for my mom to come get me so I could go home and relax. Next thing you know, this girl is literally just yelling at the employees saying, "Where's my money? I want my money back." And I'm like, "But man, we got everything that you asked for. So basically, I don't get what's wrong. You don't get what's wrong. There is salt in my popcorn." I'm like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Oh my God, is this girl really that dumb? It's common sense to have salt in popcorn. Is that common sense?" She literally has her whole bag of popcorn and she literally just throws it at them. I'm like, oh, because I'm over there in the corner just watching and spectating. I was at to go outside and you know what? That Thor was pretty entertaining. I might as well continue to be entertained. So I just watched for a little bit until they escorted her out the building. So basically I stood in the theaters for a little bit for her to officially leave the area of the theater. And then I went outside waiting for my mom, and basically that was it. It was funny, but I didn't get involved that much because I'm not that much of an involved person when it comes to crazy things. So yeah, that's why stay away, people. Stay away, children.
That was an interesting story. I know that I do have a story with my friends. We were in the mall and there was this cafe type place and it looked like it was placed in like the 1960s, which was an adorable place. I forgot what it was called. But this lady starts yelling at one of my friends who works there and is like, "Do you guys have corn dogs?" And when she says no, she starts screaming how this is unacceptable and stuff. And I get really confused because I'm like, all because they don't have corn dogs? And I said that out loud, and she turns to me and starts yelling at me or whatever. And then all of a sudden from the background, all you hear is my friend go, "This is better than Netflix." It is recording, and everybody bursts out in the laughter except for the Karen. And she's still she's still loud and screaming. And eventually she had to get escorted out of the mall because the cafe was in a mall.
Good on Netflix. We sure love to see everything on that.
Yeah, sometimes it's just watching these Karens do their thing in public is just entertainment. I honestly do. I feel so bad for their kids because you know that some of those kids are just watching and are just so humiliated.
They also teach their children how to curse too. The parents do teach their kids how to curse and teach the parents to be them, like tell other people what to do, to be racist and being so annoyed and get arrested and go to jail. They break the wall. They don't care about life.
I have not personally experienced any stories about Karens, but seen many YouTube videos or any online videos that show a Karen arguing with a person. I can feel how it is humiliating, embarrassing, and also very disrespected.
There's this one teacher that I mean, like in my school though, and I told her that I didn't do this. She just made some assumptions though, maybe like blaming it on me though. And then she started me like to do stuff and be like that she shouldn't have not done. She blamed me for it like 3 times for it though. She just didn't want to listen. And so I actually had to like tell her, maybe like tell the principal that that this was unfair, this was injustice. I was actually being kind of discriminated by her though. And this was in high school.
No, I mean, I don't have a story about Karen, but I do have experience on social media. And I see some videos of Karen, like it's like funny ones, but not like serious. Like it makes me like kind of funny to me that like how Karen's doesn't like when you see people doing this. Like I don't know if they does it bother them or you're just like telling people what to do, all sort of stuff. So if I seen a Karen in real life, I would expect to like look how it looks like and someone who's become a Karen in real life. So I have experienced a lot in social media.
Okay, the next topic when it comes to Karens is the popularity and how popular the Karens have become to our generation.
Okay, this is a bit of a commentary, but this was brought to my attention a bit ago. Originally, Karen was used by Black people to explain the way that some mostly white women will act in public. And so after a while, this became really popular because you saw a bunch of people posting about it. Again, mostly Black people posting about white women going crazy in public spaces. And it was sort of like taken over by the entirety of the internet. And it makes me chuckle a little when you have this white guy talking about a Karen. I'm like, who are you talking about? Your mother? Your aunt? Your sister? Like, sir. And I think mostly the popularity is just from people who think it's entertaining / funny to see, people going crazy in public spaces. And honestly, I think it's just that for some people, it's just that the entitlement is so strong. And now, like, people are recording them and sending it out and, like, talking about it more, that it's become much bigger just because people find it entertaining and because people want to expose those that are acting crazy in public spaces, especially when they're doing things like abusing the people who are servicing them or calling people names, especially like slurs. And I think it's just sort of contributing like both with like cancel culture and just with the nature of the internet to want to record everything and post everything that you think is interesting. And a lot of people seem to find Karens and entitled people interesting.
Karens, like, they're very popular because they are rich and they have money and, oh, I have a nice shirt, you're ugly, and that's how they got popular. Like, they don't care about poor people. They want to harass them and bully them for the rest of their lives.
When I think of like a Karen or whatever, I feel like they feel like they are entitled to be whatever they want. And I like, you can be who you are. It's a free country. But when it comes to being disrespectful, I'm like, maybe you're going a little too far. And it's just become like this weird meme on the internet, and it's recently blown up all over the place. And people just share it and find it funny, when in reality you're like, dude, this is messed up. And if I was a Karen and I had like a video out there of me acting that way, I feel like I would be super embarrassed because I did this stuff. I talked to this person like this.
I think the thing about that is that the thing with entitled people is that most of the time they don't really think they're wrong. They know that in a way they think they're wrong, but they don't want to admit that they're wrong, and they want everyone else to tell them that they're right. And I think the reason why it's also gotten so popular is that the younger generation is sort of like calling out people who throw tantrums like children, adult people throwing tantrums like little kids in public, and verbally abusing staff members of stores and restaurants and other customers, and just overall being unpleasant. And I think before, part of the reason why it wasn't so popular was because people just sort of accepted this behavior as something that happens and never really like called it out. And now we call it out so often that it's become another form of entertainment, watching these entitled people express their entitlement so violently.
Yeah, I get it.
I feel like the popularity of Karens started when YouTube and other social media platforms were becoming a thing, and when people started to record their phones, especially in the years 2018 and 2019, when there's two big, popular, infamous videos about Karens.
Yeah. Also, like Karen videos on social media, it could be funnier, but sometimes it could be very serious, like being assaulted by someone or probably harassing him as well. So, okay, maybe Karens online can be funnier and like serious, but if you see a real Karen in public, or someone is trying to be harassed or insulted or curse at you, that would be not okay about it.
All right, the next topic we're going to talk about is types of Karens, which I know Leo definitely had something to say about that.
When I mentioned about the two big YouTube videos about Karens, I'm referring to Barbecue Becky and Permit Patty. Barbecue Becky is about a woman who was wearing a pair of sunglasses and had her phone on her ear and called 911 because a family was barbecuing outside. And the whole conflict lasted for about 20 minutes because there was like the first part of the 911 call of the Karen of Barbecue Becky calling. And the second part is the actual video of Becky arguing with the family and also the lady who was recording her. And then Permit Patty is about a lady who called 911 on an 8-year-old girl who was selling water bottles for just $2 on the streets outside her home. And then this lady just came and called 911 because she doesn't have a permit to sell water. And then there was a lady who was recording her, and then she tried to hide so that her face doesn't be revealed to the whole world to see what she's trying to do, which is bad.
Yeah, when it comes to different types of Karens, I find it like funny, but at the same time kind of messed up still. Because you have, of course, the ones that ask for the manager, the ones that call the cops, the ones that put their hands on people, which is never acceptable. And then you have the ones that are yelling, the ones that are not listening to other people when they really should be, the ones that are judgmental and judge people, the ones that are racist, homophobic, any of those. And I find it weird that there's all these different types of women out there and they think that they have the right. Well, they do have the right, but they think that they could just be disrespectful to somebody just because they want something to stop or something to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jaylin. They also drunk too because parents are crazy. They should. I wish in the future, I hope their parents teach Karen to be good. Why did their parents raise Karen to be bad? Like, why?
All right, so we're going to talk about male versus female Karens. Really, who would beat the other one in my mind, or who is better at screaming or anything?
No, I mainly just see a lot of females and dudes. Females are more aggressive and while dudes are basically just yelling and aggressive, 10 times more aggressive. But amazing, I never seen a dude Karen in my life. As a matter of fact, I never even seen one on social media. So no comment.
A lot of male Karens. I think the thing is that it feels less socially acceptable, I think. Because with female Karens, a lot of people think, oh, they're harmless, because they're typically white women. So now when a man starts doing it, people get threatened because, oh, he's violent, he's aggressive. It's terrifying. But that doesn't mean that they're really like less common. I think they're just less talked about because most of the time they're more scary than entertaining. And I feel like also because their entitlement never really goes to the lengths that some female Karen's entitlement goes to. So again, less entertaining. As far as who would win in a fight, it depends on what kind of fight we're talking about.
So entertainment fight, the female Karens would win?
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Okay, what about when it comes to like yelling and like acting for the manager? Who would win at that? I feel like they're both pretty strong, but I feel like a male's would be just way more effective because most men have louder voices and more projected screams.
Male Karens try to intimidate, and at least as far as I've seen, female Karens try to guilt trip you or get people to sympathize with them.
I do know that there is less videos of male Karens over female Karens. I think male Karens are the most scariest ones because I think there's a more chance of possibility of a male Karen going into a physical altercation with another person.
Also, I want to say the only thing Karen I seen is only females. Like for me, I never seen a male Karen like anywhere on social media. So the only who are the mostly Karens are the ladies. Like ladies like don't do this, don't do that. Oh, and like you're like a snitch or in like snitch this, snitch that, or all that stuff. And like that's why people they're against it with Karens.
All right, the last subject we're going to talk about is Karen moments that everybody has had or someone's family member has had. I have a personal story where we were at McDonald's and they didn't have any drinks left for some reason, which was kind of weird. They didn't have any drinks or beverages. So we replaced the drinks with milkshakes, but they charged my mom for the Sprites and the milkshakes, and she got really mad. We sat in the McDonald's line for about an hour. She called the manager, then she called the actual the actual company McDonald's, and all at the same time she's screaming and yelling at the employees, and I was just sitting in the passenger seat so embarrassed. And I literally what I did was I moved the chair backwards so no one could see me because I was so embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. And the entire time, and I sat there like, Mom, please don't do this. This is embarrassing. I'm not sure. I did see someone recording, but I'm glad it did not go viral as much as everyone else's did. Because then I would have been like, dude, that's my mom.
I think the worst moments of Karens are when they're threatening you to get you fired or that they want to speak with a manager. And I think the lowest of the low is probably like calling you racial slurs, calling you names, based on how you look. Oh, and based on how old you are too, if they know who you are.
I could agree with some of that. I could agree, disagree, but overall, it makes sense. I agree with that.
I think Karen may be toxic as well. You know, like when someone doesn't know what they want, or I want this, I want that, and you can like stress or frustrated with that person that you feel like you're about to throw food at that person's face. That would be funnier, but we don't actually want to do that, and we can lose our jobs, employments, or anything like that. So some Karens can be toxic too.
Agree. And there's the video of, God, you say like construction worker beat up Karen's boyfriend in the train because Karen won't stop talking to him. Wow. And Karen always tell you, speak English. Stop speaking the other language.
One last thing I wanted to add is the funniest moment of Karen's is when the person who's recording the video is yelling "World Star."
Agree. Goosey as me.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Thank you to my hosts, Miko, Brian, Adrian, Elijah, Elvis. I'm Leonardo. This episode was also produced by Stanley.
This concludes the Karenmageddon podcast. Thank you for listening. Stay sane, everybody, and don't be a Karen. Gen Z teens out.
Power Your Story podcast is produced by high school students in Chicago at the Creative Impostor Studios.
With the production support from After School Matters.
Listen to more Power Your Story in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite listening app.
If you love what you heard, you can write a review in Apple Podcasts or share this episode with friends and family.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Power Your Story Podcast.
Get links and learn more in the show notes and at poweryourstorypodcast.com.
Thank you for listening.
And have an amazing day.